Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and we're about to get some rain here soon, so... yeah, so... well, I have a quick mock update for y'all, and then we'll get to some actual updates, you know, because, well... let's just say I've been doing some building, and, well, taking apart things as well. We'll get to that. So, for the mock... it's an update on my female Toa of Air, Haruka. It was, of course, named after my favorite character, Haruka Takayama from my favorite Yuri anime, Sakura Trick. And the only real updates I did to this Toa of Air is, well, as you can see, gave her a sword. This sword is... electric katana, I guess you could say. This is my original Liwa Fentoka blade. Of course, there's some stuff missing, and it's, yeah, cut up a little bit. A little weird. It's more pointy. Yeah. And also added a pommel. And, yeah, not much to it. This is her new weapon, because her scythe is, well, had to steal some parts from it. So, yeah. Also, she's not as flashy looking. There's her behind. That's the only part that's flashy. That part used to be green, but is now black. She does have this little barb thing right there above her ass. And I replaced crotch armor region, shall we say, with actual crotch armor. It's a Metru chest armor piece, and yes, she has boobs. Replaced her hair ponytail. Used to be a dark gray, dark pearlish gray beast foot thing, or beast thing, whatever, I don't know. With a silver one, spare silver one from my second copy, actually, of Liwa Master. I had to take off some other bits and bobs of Borak eyes, because I need to use those. We'll explain later. But overall, she's pretty much the same. Obviously, her ponytail moves up and down. When she's really piped up and excited, it goes up like that. Yes, she has Matao Metru's mask. Go figure. You know, she is fairly posable. She can do an ab crunch like that. And she can go, oh, yeah, about that far back. You know. So, that's Haruka, Toa of Air. She is awesome. And, you know, there you go. What do you think about this mock? This is one of the mocks that I didn't have to fully take apart, because it's mostly bionicle parts. I mean, there's a couple of CCBS shells being used for her boobs, but other than that, and of course this beast foot right here, or beast appendage, whatever you want to call it, in silver. Beyond that, oh, and of course the head, the trans green head is actually from Brain Attack, so, but beyond that, pretty much everything else is bionicle, so it's impressive. There's still some flashiness here and there with some system studs, some more green barbs here and there, a lightsaber blade going through her head, it looks like. That's just how I chose to put those two black parts on either side. I don't know. Looks a bit weird, and yeah. But her main color is Metru Green, of course. There's a 1x2 studded plate on either arm, and on the back of her feet she has two of these. Well, actually, one is a trans lime green cone. She has two of those, and a trans lime green cylinder piece on both feet. Why? I don't know, but I put them there. So She also has a stud on her ponytail, because why not? And if I recall correctly, these two pieces, these two green pieces, actually came from a Technic set. What was it, a tractor of some sort? I missed that thing. Also had a blue off-road bike sort of thing, kind of like a, what was it, Yamaha or whatever. But that's Haruka. Pretty much the same, except some minor changes here and there, and well, the biggest change for me is probably the weapon, because I needed to steal parts from it, and I needed to steal parts from Haruka in general, but for the most part, she's still relatively complete, so there you go. What do you think? Now, I'll put you right there for now. Now, as far as actual updates go for this channel, which if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. So, for, well, the past couple of days, today, yesterday, and actually the night before, I was really busy. Couldn't make videos. I was building, well, I was taking apart some MOCs, okay? And I made a lengthy post about this on my community section of my YouTube channel, so go read that before you listen to this. I took apart some MOCs. It was a little heartbreaking to take apart a fuck ton of MOCs, because I did put some time into those, but yeah, so I wanted to rebuild the G2 sets that I took apart in order to build said MOCs, including Umarak the Hunter, the 3 Shadow Horde beasts, Lava Beast, Quake Beast, Storm Beast. The problem with Quake Beast is that I have to order a couple parts off of Bricklink because the original copy's broke because fragile clip attachment. That's why. And I also rebuilt the creatures, the elemental creatures, and the protectors. That one really stung. I mean, really. It hurt, because that was a project, that was Project Exodus, by the way, where I took all the protectors, disassembled them, and combined them into one massive Titan thing I call Project Exodus. Because I was listening to a couple of Exodus albums while doing so, and while building the project, and it turned out to be pretty fucking massive. And it was on a shelf that I wanted to have a dedicated shelf for it, but now, since it's disassembled, I think I'll put something else up there. Right now I have a couple of canisters, Roxy canisters, and a couple of mini Vizirax, because they're so cute and adorable. Oh wait, they're looking at me very meanly. Yeah, I also rebuilt the Skull Villains, which at some points, rebuilding all these sets turned out to be a pain in the ass. Lord of Skull Spiders I also rebuilt. The only thing I haven't rebuilt was the traps. I still have one trap from Tarak, Creature of Earth, that set. It's over there in that cube thing with, well, can't remember which of the 6 squared out areas it's in, but I have one trap built. It's the Earth trap. I have to build the other 4, and I really don't want to because they're kind of useless. They're not worth anything, to be honest, except parts. But hey, there are storyline reasons for why the traps exist, and yeah, because yeah, I rebuilt Umarak the Hunter, and I've been having fun rebuilding these G2 sets because, kind of like what I said in my post, family members have bought these sets. They spent good money on them, and I have to be grateful that they did. Because, you know, my mom paid for some sets, my grandma, my aunt, and even my sister bought a set for me. and even had doubles of the Toa Masters because I wanted to make my own revamps of the Toa Masters, and I did. They're all gone. Well, Pohatu is still around. He's headless, though, so I have to give him a new head. You know, I just kind of felt bad taking apart those G2 sets, because, you know, my grandmother and her sister, my aunt, we went to Toys R Us one day in 2016 and bought Akimu, the Mask Maker, Umrak the Destroyer, and all three of the elemental beasts. That was quite a birthday present, to be honest. I was going to get the last wave of G2 sets, and I felt really bad taking those apart. I was going to take pics of the MOCs that I built using these sets, but I don't have a proper setup. I can't come up with a proper setup at all. I don't have the proper equipment. I don't have even the funds to do so. So, yeah. Those reviews will have to do. If you haven't watched them, they're in the MOC Reviews playlist, so go watch those if you will. Yes, there's mostly black and white filter. That's the filter on this camera. But I wasn't going to re-record those in color because I already spent enough time actually reviewing the set, reviewing the MOCs in black and white, and I can't remember anything I said in those videos. And let's face it, it's just a big old waste of time anyway, so that's why I backed out of doing that. And so I ended up taking apart all the MOCs that, well, of which parts I needed to rebuild G2 sets. I'm going to rebuild the traps at some point. I have 4 traps to build. Luckily I have the parts to do so. I remember I even got doubles of protectors of fire and water so I could build Takua, a G2 version of Takua. And I also even, you know, got a second copy of Umarak the Hunter because he was pretty cool. I once did a revamp of Umarak the Hunter. Instead of having a bow, he had a massive fucking anime style sword. Thinking like Naruto, or not Naruto, fucking whatever, you know. I even had a second copy of Mask Maker vs. Skull Grinder. Mostly because, well, I wanted to turn that copy of Mask Maker, Ikimu, into Makuta, Mask Maker. In the story, he's known as Makuta the Mask Hoarder, but that's kind of, yeah. Instead of using the trans purple, because some parts didn't exist in trans purple at the time, I used black parts instead, like the limbs, the bones, and some shells, including the 4-length armor shells and the 3-length armor shells. I used those instead of trans purple because why not? You know, I felt it was more appropriate since Makuta became this evil character. Black is usually associated with evil, at least the color is. Dark and moody stuff and whatnot, so I figured, why not? Also gave him the mask of control that came with Akuma, what the fuck? Umarak the Hunter. And, yeah. I also have a spare mask of control, but I've kind of modified that one to look like the prototype. Or the one that's in the 2015 animations. As for the Skull Grinder, the second Skull Grinder, well, turned him into a MOC as a tribute to a certain death metal band. And, yeah, so go check out that video too. So, while some of you might be looking at me like I'm completely nuts for rebuilding these sets, it's like, you know, good money was spent on these sets. And I'm grateful that my family members decided to, well, mostly because I asked, to buy these sets for me. Because, you know, Bionicle came back for 2 years, so of course I was going to get the sets somehow. I didn't have my own money, but, you know, it is what it is. What the fuck, camera? What did you do? Oh. This thing is old. So, I'm not as attached to those sets as I am with the G1 sets, because it's G1. I mean, of course. Some of you Transformers fans who are massive fans of G1, of Transformers G1, latch onto G1 mostly because it's G1. You know, you love those Transformers because it's G1. You know, it's modern stuff ain't as great. So yeah. So modern Bionicle being, you know, G2. Not as good as G1. It never was going to be as good as G1, no. But the sets were definitely solid. I mean, 3 of them were not that great. Lord of Skull Spiders, Katar, and Skull Scorpio. Even then, those sets still had something to them. They were unique. They were pretty good. I'm actually missing a couple parts on Lord of Skull Spiders, so I have to find those. I have them, but, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. I like the G2 sets, despite their flaws. I even have a couple of long black shelves that, well, I had my father install because I got frustrated with them, really. The Toa Masters are on the top shelf, and the Uniters are on the second shelf underneath them, which is a pretty cool thing. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so I might even put Umarak the Destroyer on the shelf that used to have Project Exodus on it, because I just love Umarak the Destroyer. Fucking awesome, big bad monster guy. He looks awesome. He looks epic. He's probably one of my favorite Bionicle Titans of all time. Don't get me wrong. I already liked Umarak the Hunter for what he was, for the parts and unique stuff going on. He was pretty fucking cool. Umarak the Destroyer just took it to a whole new level. So, yeah. I will rebuild the other 4 traps that are missing. I don't understand why Kopaka and Melum didn't come with a trap. There was one in the show. It was basically just a fire trap with the trans-orange claw pieces replaced with trans-blue claw pieces. That's such a simple fix. Why didn't they do that? Because they're fucking idiots. That's more money to put... It's more money for us to spend, sure, but it couldn't have cost them more than, like, I don't know, $1 or $2 to put a trap in that set. I mean, come on. Well, at least with Umarak the Hunter, you get to build, well, his own trap out of his shoulder pads and his toes, apparently. Some extra bits and bobs to create a second jungle trap. So, okay. I don't do that, honestly, because that's fucking stupid. It makes Umarak look worse. And overall, the traps are just kind of annoying. But again, they have a storyline reason why they exist, because they serve Umarak. Their job is to trap a creature, and that's what they did. Stop blurring, camera. Quit being stupid. So that's basically all I have to say. I'm glad I rebuilt the sets. Again, I'm going to have to go on Bricklink to get a couple of the trans-purple claw pieces, because the 2 that, well, there was 3 in total, but the one is being used as the thumb. That one's perfectly fine, but the other 2 were broken because fragile clips. That's all I'll say. Also, if you look back there, back there. See where my finger's pointing? That empty space on the wall is where a couple of black shelves are going to go. They're shorter. And that's where I'm going to put the, I'm going to relocate the bow rock to the top shelf, and the bottom shelf is going to have the bow rock cowl when I have all 6 of the bow rock cowl. I have 3 of them, so I'm going to work on getting the other 3 at some point. Hopefully by the end of the year, or at least by Christmas time. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say at this point. So, again, if you like my mock Haruka, let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what I can do to improve Haruka. So, there you go. Thank y'all for watching. I'll probably be back tomorrow, so stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks later. Have a good fucking day, and peace.